7 weather with meteorologist Erika Delgado.
All right, South Florida, nice conditions for us. We continue mostly quiet with an area of high pressure and control and comfortable conditions as well. 64 in Kendall right now, 67 in Homestead, 65 in the Hialeah area, mid-60s extending into Pompano Beach, 70 now in Miami after dropping into the upper 60s, 71 in Fort Lauderdale. We work our way into the Florida Keys. Temperatures are in the mid to low 70s, 74 in Marathon, as well as in Isla Mirada, 72 right now in Key West. Quiet conditions across the island chain, but it wasn't quiet early this morning where we had a few showers push through areas of the Middle Keys. Now dry across the island chain, and from Miami-Dade and Broward County, we are also dry. No rain anywhere in sight, and today's going to be a lot like what we experienced the last few days with rain chances remaining on the lower end. This is one of the reasons why. The orange that you see here across much of the southeastern U.S., that's dry air in the different levels of the atmosphere. Plenty of it, no moisture for rain, which means that other than maybe a passing sprinkle, we're not expecting any of that. This is the other reason why. We have a large area of high pressure. It's parked near Florida, and that's going to stick around for a few days, and it does a couple things. Not only does it keep us on the warm side, but it also blocks fronts from pushing through, which means storm tracks remain far removed, which means the cold air even further than that. So no major change through the weekend, no major change into next week. Highs still nearby. We remain warm. We remain mostly dry, and now we're looking at a Thursday next week time frame, and still no significant change except for the fact that we might be a little warmer. We'll remain dry, and with rain and snow, of course, far removed from Florida. Seas around 2 feet for most of the day. Later today could begin to subside to less than 2 feet. Biscayne Bay, a light chop. Heading into the Florida Keys, coastal waters, a light to moderate chop, with seas beyond the reef occasionally reaching as high as 5 feet. We just had our high tides across all South Florida spots early this morning, and now low tide will be coming up next. 9:44 in Fort Lauderdale, 9:53 in Miami. In Key West, your low tide at 10:06 a.m. So for today, we are dry, sunny at times, and then temperatures will be a lot like the last few days. We're back into the lower 80s, and no major change tonight other than maybe an isolated sprinkle, maybe for the Florida Keys. Will remain quiet, mild temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. Heading into the weekend, it may feel a little warmer at times, especially into Sunday with lighter winds in place. Otherwise, it's next week where a little more in the way of moisture tries to creep in, which means that temperatures could begin to warm and maybe a few spotty showers. Breeze does begin to pick up by the middle of the week, and then we could be nearing records by the end of the work week. That's your 7 on 7 forecast. 7 News Today in Florida. We'll be right back.
7 weather with meteorologist Erika Delgado.
In South Florida, we have been comfortable so far. Temperatures for a lot of our inland locations of Miami-Dade and Broward in the 60s. We're now sitting at 70 in Miami after dropping to 68 this morning, 71 in Fort Lauderdale, 74 degrees right now in Marathon and in Key Largo, 72 in Key West. We have just a few passing fair weather clouds pushing through the area. We saw a few more of those pushing through the Middle Keys earlier this morning when a few showers developed there. Those have since fizzled, and now we are mostly sunny across South Florida, and we're mostly dry. Those showers that pushed through the Middle Keys fizzled and pushed into the Florida streets. Miami-Dade and Broward County continuing to enjoy quiet conditions, and it looks like the rest of the day we should be dry. Not a whole lot going on in Florida. High pressure is in control, and you can see that. It's very visible that things are very quiet for us here. So dry and quiet from that nearby high. We are mostly sunny. Fronts continue to keep north throughout the day today, so really not expecting a whole lot of weather for South Florida. Heading into the start of the weekend, we're still nice. We're warm. Maybe an isolated sprinkle here and there, a lot like what we saw this morning. Maybe we could see it again tomorrow in the Florida Keys. And then as we work our way into Sunday, other than maybe a spotty shower, we're not expecting a whole lot as far as rain. As far as the Super Bowl, it's this weekend, and if you are planning on watching it, you can catch it right here on 7. If you're planning on watching it locally, you can expect temperatures at kickoff here in South Florida to be in the upper 70s. Again, other than maybe a spotty shower, we're not expecting a whole lot as far as rain is concerned. So if you maybe had plans outdoor to watch the game, it's a green light for that. Your boating forecast for Miami-Dade and Broward looks pretty good. Offshore this afternoon, winds could occasionally reach up to 15 knots. Otherwise, seas will be around 2 feet all day long, and then later today about 1 to 2 feet. Biscayne Bay remaining at a light chop, and then into the Florida Keys, coastal waters a light to moderate chop, with seas beyond the reef anywhere between 2 to 5 feet. There are no advisories. Conditions offshore will continue to be nice. Heading into this afternoon or later this morning is when we can expect low tide, 9:44 in Fort Lauderdale, 9:53 in Miami. In Key West, your low tide will be at 10:06 a.m. So for today, sunny at times. We are mainly dry. High temperatures will be a lot like what we experienced earlier in the week. We're back into the lower 80s. We're dry. We'll get to enjoy the nice conditions, although temperatures are well above average. They should be in the mid 70s in the afternoons and not into the lower 80s. Tonight will be a mild upper 60s to low 70s. Typical temperatures should keep us in the mid 60s, other than maybe an isolated sprinkle or two, especially across the Florida Keys. Tonight should be on the quiet side. Again, mostly quiet. We're warm for the upcoming weekend. Sunday may be a little warmer since we'll have lighter winds across the area. Then heading into next week, we'll notice more subtle changes, becoming a bit more noticeable by the middle of the week. We do turn breezy come Tuesday into Wednesday. Our wind pattern veers out of the southeast, so we begin to warm. It'll feel a bit more muggy, maybe a spotty shower, and then by the end of the week, a south wind returns, and that could mean nearing records for some of us. That's your 7 on 7.
Next with your first forecast. It's also Friday. We got to celebrate that alone.
So many celebrations, Alex, beginning today through the weekend. But this is one of the reasons why things are so quiet and why we'll get to enjoy outside time this weekend. It's because of this area of high pressure. It's protecting much of Florida and really a lot of the southeastern U.S. from really seeing any active weather. That remains to the north of us. We remain quiet, but that means we also remain warm. Here's a check on our temperature. Some of us started off in the 60s, 69 still in Pompano Beach, 70 now in Hollywood, 74 in Fort Lauderdale. And as we work our way into Miami-Dade, we're seeing more of those 60s, 69 Hialeah, 68 in Homestead, 67 degrees right now in Kendall, and temperatures across Miami sitting at 73 degrees. Right now across the Florida Keys, we're in the mid to lower 70s, 75 in Marathon, 74 degrees in Key West. That goes for Isla Mirada and into Key Largo, 72 in Cudjoe. Miami-Dade and Broward County looking quiet, but we did see a few very spotty showers across the Florida Keys very early this morning. Those have since fizzled, so we're keeping our rain chances on the lower end with highs later today reaching into the lower 80s. A closer look at your forecast is coming up in just a few minutes.